Is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty, man. Appreciate you guys. Just wanted to get on, talk to you today. Hadn't talked to you in a couple days, so just thought I'd get on here, chit chat with you for a little bit. Man, so Todd Haley had basically came out and kind of gave his reasoning on why he's not high on Will Howard and talked about it. And he kind of has the same opinion that I have about it. There's a ton of Will Howard support amongst Pittsburgh Steeler fans. And I don't know, it just kind of seems like they've taken on the whole Kenny Pickett thing. And I'm just, I don't know. Look, and I think people, they get so riled up and so rattled and so fired up. It's like if you have a difference of an opinion or you don't think somebody's going to be good, it's like you're rooting against them. I don't think anybody's rooting against Will Howard to succeed. But basically what Todd Haley came out, and he's, like I said, he's got credibility in this talking about quarterbacks. And he said, kind of the same thing that I've been saying is like, if the Steelers were that high on Will Howard and were so confident that he could be their franchise quarterback, they wouldn't have waited until the 6th round to draft him. And then the first thing that people say is, well, look at Tom Brady. Well, look at Brock Purdy. They weren't first-round draft picks. Okay, and you're right. But he also broke it down and he said the percentages, he said that's why people take quarterbacks in the first round because they believe that those guys are going to be their franchise quarterback. That's what he said. He said he's been in those draft rooms and that people are desperate to get a quarterback. And so they move up and constantly move up. And you see teams all over the place move up to draft a quarterback that they believe can be their franchise quarterback. That's the difference. So Torsha says, I'm going to tell my kids Will Howard could walk on water. It kind of sounds like that's what people believe. CID with a great comment. He says, I don't get people thinking Will Howard is Dan Marino. We haven't seen shit from it. We haven't. And it's wild that people would say that this guy is, oh, yeah, he's the future. And again, I'm not rooting against it. I'm not saying that he can't be. But all I'm saying is for you to just automatically believe that the Steelers think this guy is the future and they drafted him in the 6th round, like you couldn't have taken him in the 5th. You couldn't have taken him in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Well, we didn't have a 2nd. 1st. Like the guy that you think is the future of your franchise, you decided to wait till the 6th round to draft him. Whew. I don't know. I just don't get that. And Dre says scouts don't get it right sometimes. But that would mean, and you're right. And I'll also say that there are more first-round flop quarterbacks than there are first-round quarterbacks that hit. There are way more flops in the first round than there are hits. That is just a fact. So I don't want you to think that, because you draft somebody in the first round, that automatically makes them the future in the franchise. That is not what that means at all. That's not what that means. So, but I just want to caution people on that and just maybe give a different perspective on it. On what if the Steelers, forget what you think, just put yourself out of it. If the Pittsburgh Steelers believe that, okay, this is our franchise quarterback, Do you really believe that they would have waited till the 6th round to draft him? Just ask yourself that question. What was it? 3 years before that, they took baby hands in the 1st round. And we all knew, or most of us knew, that that wasn't going to turn out right. But the Steelers didn't, and they still took him anyway. And this is a great point, KTB. Everybody thinks that they're the next Tom Brady, and it's just not true. You're exactly right. There's been 5 quarterbacks in the last 40 years that have been taken in the 6th round or less that have turned out to be a starting franchise quarterback. 5 in 40 years. So, and that's the whole thing. It's crazy that people automatically believe that. I'm not even saying that he isn't. And again, and then people get so mad, like, if you don't believe that Will Howard is the future, and I don't believe it, I'm not saying he can't be, and I'm also, but to the point, people, if they don't believe it, then you're rooting against them. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you don't have to be rooting against Will Howard to not believe that he's the future. You can say, I don't think he's the future, but damn it, I want him to win. Because if he's the quarterback of the Steelers, what do you think we want him to lose? And also, not being afraid to be wrong. People get paid millions and millions of dollars a year to project and predict these things. And they get it wrong 70% of the time. So, you know, that's the whole thing. You don't have to just to be rooting against Will Howard. You can be rooting for Will Howard and still, just like I am, I'm rooting for Will Howard. He went to my school. I went to Kansas State. He played there for 4 years. You don't think I have a vested interest in him doing well? Of course I do. But just because of that, it also doesn't make me believe any different than in what my beliefs are. And I don't go to the extremes to try to prove my point by saying, well, Tom Brady was a 6th round pick, so Will Howard can do the exact same thing, when you can't name 5 more people in the last 40 years that have done the same thing. You literally can't do it. And just like Wiggle said, Purdy was a 7th round pick. Purdy was the last person drafted. And what does that mean? So because Brock Purdy did it, that means Will Howard is the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that what we're saying? Mason with the super chat said Howard has played well everywhere he's went and won. First of all, that's not true, because the first 2.5 years at Kansas State, he sucked. So there's that. Said, I honestly think he's Blake Bortles with much more intangibles and championship pedigree. I mean, Blake Bortles wasn't in the league 3 years after he beat the Steelers in the playoffs. So I think he'll be a B- to B rated QB with structure, and that's okay. First of all, being a backup quarterback in the National Football League is okay. So I think anybody that believes that that's not okay is crazy. So, yeah, that's right. 15-12 at Kansas State. That's what I'm saying, is like, everybody said he was a winner. He won the Big 12 title at Kansas State in 2022. But you also know what happened that year? He didn't win the starting job. And the only reason he got the job is because the quarterback in front of him got hurt. Like, the quarterback in front of him wasn't playing bad. He just got hurt, and then Will Howard went in. So think about that for a second. Adrian Martinez was the starting quarterback at Kansas State in 2022. He was the starter. He ended up getting hurt, and Will Howard went in and played well. But he didn't start the year. Didn't even start the first 7 games. So, and again, I went to Kansas State. I have a vested interest. I'm on a podcast every week talking about Kansas State football. I watched every snap that Will Howard took in his Kansas State career. The one thing I know for a fact, he got a hell of a lot better when he went to Ohio State because I think he got better coaching. A hell of a lot better. He also played with better football players. So there's that. Played with better football players. But that's where he's at with it. Todd Haley. He has the same opinion as I do. If the Steelers really believe that he was going to be the franchise quarterback, there's no way they draft him in the 6th round. No way. No way. And I think Steeler fans probably know that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. So, and then this is an absolute false. Todd Haley was one of the worst OCs we ever had. That's an out-and-out lie. That is an out-and-out. Todd Haley was good with the Steelers. He just didn't get along with Ben Roethlisberger. So to say he was one of the worst offensive coordinators we had is just a flat-out lie. Literally a flat-out lie. He was good. Just didn't get along with Big Ben. So I get it. We get on the internet and we say things to try to be right, but I try to be honest. So that's all. That's all. Torsha says we would have played him in the preseason if he didn't get hurt. He'll get another shot preseason, but any team trying to compete won't start a QB with no experience. My whole thing about that is that the owner has told us we're trying to compete. Like, the owner is not saying that this is a development year or anything like that. That's the thing. Super chat by Crack Boy. We appreciate you, brother. He said, I think I have the answer, Big B. This day and age, the fans are starving for a QB, and we're kind of spoiled since we haven't had one to look at since Ben. We're so jaded that we're willing to put faith in a 6th-round QB, perfect underdog story. Crack Boy, I think you are 1,000,000% correct. Is that we as Steeler fans are so jaded and haven't had a good quarterback. And let's just be honest, the last 2 years of Big Ben weren't very good. We just haven't had a good quarterback in a long time. And so we're just like, okay. Like, I had a guy tell me the other day that he's just like Josh Allen. That Will Howard is just like Josh Allen. I was like, oh my God. We're doing that? Come on, Steeler fan. We're not that. We're not that. We're not that. He's not Josh Allen. So, you're not Josh Allen. So, somebody says I couldn't stand Todd Haley. I don't know why you couldn't stand him. And his offense wasn't trash in Pittsburgh. So, just because you don't remember it being good, that just means you're wrong. First of all, you don't even know Todd Haley. So, why would you hate Todd Haley and be mad when he got fired? His job was to run a good offense. He did that. So that's crazy talk. Oh, I hated Todd Haley. I didn't know him, but I hated him. Oh, man, his offense was trash. No, his offense was good. Matter of fact, everywhere that Todd Haley has been, when he has a quarterback, their offense is good. So, I don't know. I'm rooting for Will Howard. I'm rooting for him big time. But to tell me that the Steelers believe that he's the franchise. I mean, the coaches can say, I'm looking forward to working with Will Howard. Well, they're supposed to say that. And they probably are looking forward to working with him. But that doesn't mean that they believe that he's the franchise QB. By the way, Art Rooney II has told you, I'm not interested in, throwaway years. I'm not interested in rebuilding. I'm not interested in just giving a quarterback a shot to see if he can do it. He's already said that. So, and hiring Mike McCarthy tells you that he's not interested in in doing anything like that. He wants to win right now. Whether that's right or wrong, that's a different conversation. But that's what the owner is literally telling us. I want to win right this second. I don't think there's room for a developmental quarterback on a team that's trying to win right now. So I just don't think that. KTB says, I get it. Didn't like Canada or Arthur Smith. But, I mean, who could like Matt Canada and Arthur Smith as offensive coordinators? So who could like them? CID hopes that Rodgers retires. I don't care if he retires. I just don't. And look, if Aaron Rodgers comes back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, then I'm going to obviously root for him. I'm going to want him to do well. But I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. So I'm ready to move on. Boxing Man says the way Ben was going, his career would have been over around 2013-14. Haley game plan to keep Ben healthy. And they ran the football a lot and threw the ball down the field. So, but we'll see. Said, I saw Big Ben being great when he was drafted. Same for Troy, Kobe Bryant, Barry Foster. Everyone doesn't have the grit. Will Howard. Everybody doesn't have the gift. Will Howard wanted to come to Pittsburgh. Destiny, I'm telling you. So I wanted to go to Pittsburgh. They didn't draft me, so it wasn't my destiny. Is that God didn't have it in for me? God had it out for me? Dang. That's tough to live with. That God just said, screw you, Brian. I know you want to go to Pittsburgh. Screw you. Come on. Come on, man. Ugh. Teams like the Bills and the Ravens wasted the year. No one truly believed the Steelers had a chance this year. I think people thought the Steelers were going to win 9 or 10 games. I mean, when was the last time the Steelers hadn't won 9 or 10 games? So I think plenty of people thought the Steelers were going to win 9 or 10 games. It was just, were the Steelers going to win a playoff game? Not a lot of people thought that. So, and here's a good comment. I wish people loved Mike Tomlin as much as they love Will Howard. I mean, look, I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say that I love Mike Tomlin at the end because I knew Mike Tomlin wasn't going to change. But I don't know. Art Rooney screwed the fans with hiring McCarthy. Now, that's another question. How did he screw the fans with Mike McCarthy? Like, were the fans... I mean, first of all, you run a business. You're not running your business based on what your fans want you to do. It's a football team. You can't run a business based on what your fans want you to do, especially if you keep showing up. Now, if the fans told me what they wanted to do and then they stopped showing up because I did the opposite, that would be a different conversation. Then it's like, okay, hold on a second. I got to start listening to what the fans want. But first of all, Mike McCarthy's not a horrible football coach. That's just not true. He's not. And if you continue to go, then I'm not running I'm running my business, what's best for my business. I'm not running my business for what's best for the fans. So, but we'll see. I'm excited to see what it is. Like everybody's saying, like somebody, Steeler Lee said, there's no way Big Mike's going to bring some good play calling this year. Or he's saying, no way, Big Mike is going to bring some good play calling this year. I think so too. I think so too, Steel City. I mean, it's going to be better than what we've seen. I damn sure know that. It's going to be better than what we have seen. So that's what I know. By the way, people, the lineup for the week, just so everybody knows, and basically what we're going to be running during the offseason. Steelers, we're doing a live rant on Mondays and Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, or 10 a.m. Eastern, excuse me. So we'll be doing lives in the morning on Monday and Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Monday and Tuesday. Big show, obviously, on Tuesday night. Podcast on Wednesday. And then we're doing another live on Thursday evening during the off season. Now, obviously, we'll pop up on here if new things pop up, new information. We'll pop up and do a quick live like we're doing right now, a little town hall to get it all out. Here's something that I think is funny is the Steelers haven't come out and confirmed any of the hires. They haven't come out and talked about Patrick Graham being the defensive coordinator. Now, I think all these things will probably happen, but if you notice, they haven't said anything. It's just all been, okay, this is what's being reported, rumors. I mean, have the Steelers said anything? So, Darth Gill says, I thought it was a terrible hire, but after seeing Mike McCarthy's press conference, I still think the same, but I'm rooting for him. You could tell his job means the world to me. Here's the thing. You all saw me after the hire. I was beyond pissed off that the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy. I was beyond pissed that that's who they decided to hire as the head coach. But once the emotion wore off, and once you started diving into it, then it's like, okay, maybe this can work. Maybe this can work. Did you see Gruden QB class with Will Howard? If you haven't seen it, please watch. Gruden said he was first-round talent. I don't take my cues from John Gruden for a lot of different reasons. But great. That's fine that John Gruden thought that. That's fine. But he wasn't. I mean, he didn't get drafted in the first round, or second, or third, or fourth, or fifth. So that's great. I saw all of that from what John Gruden did, his QB school. I saw it. I just don't take my cues from Gruden. I just don't. I mean, Gruden isn't coaching in the NFL. Neither is Todd Haley, to be fair. Todd Haley's not coaching in the NFL either. So is Gruden a quarterback whisperer? Not in my opinion. No. So Boxing Man says, I saw John Gruden's emails. So did I. I don't get into where Howard has said Howard looks straight out of Mayberry. That don't matter. I mean, let's not get personal with about Will Howard. It don't matter if he's from Mayberry. If he can play football, he can play football. Gruden has seen and talked to hundreds of QBs. His judgment isn't nothing. Well, what if I told you I had talked to hundreds of QBs? Does that make my judgment nothing just because I've talked to them? I mean, talking to hundreds of QBs, what does that mean? Come on. I just don't, like I said, everybody has their preference, and anybody that's going to like Will Howard and think he's the franchise, you're going to put a lot of weight into what John Gruden said. Gruden in 2017 said Nathan Peterman would start immediately. And Nathan Peterman may have been the worst quarterback to even play in the National Football League in the last 15, 20 years. He was that bad. He also liked Josh Rosen. But I mean, he gets them right too. I mean, let's not act like everything that John Gruden says is wrong. So Big Ben is endorsing Howard, so let's see what happens. Big Ben is also somebody who said, hey, don't draft a quarterback right now, build the team up, and then you can just plug somebody in there. Does that necessarily sound like an endorsement of a guy that he thinks is the franchise quarterback? Because you've never heard Big Ben say that he thought that Will Howard was the franchise. He hasn't said that. He likes him. A lot of people like him. So there's a lot of first-round quarterbacks that haven't worked out. That is 100% facts. There's so many first-round quarterbacks that haven't worked out. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. But you know what? The percentage of quarterbacks that have been drafted in the sixth round or less that have become franchise quarterbacks, the percentage is way less than the percentage of first-round quarterbacks that haven't worked out. So, but there's that. What are we doing here in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Oh man, I apologize. We got some trolls in the room that I got to get rid of. So I apologize because they're bothering you, they're bothering me. But we'll get rid of them. Is Aaron Rodgers going to return? I kind of think that he is. So there's a supposed deadline out there for him. So we'll see. So we'll see. But yeah, there's a supposed deadline for Rodgers. March 1st. Easy paycheck says he'll be back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's disappointing that the Steelers don't have a quarterback. That's the part that's disappointing. That's why I'm so mad at the Mike Tomlin era, is because after Big Ben, like, they couldn't. Now, don't get me wrong, they tried, but they only tried once. They tried once with baby hands. It didn't work out. They should go try again. They should have went and tried again, but they didn't. So the analytics say that Rodgers has a 75% chance. Like, what analytics? I don't think it's analytics. I would think that it's the betting lines say that he has a 75% chance. I don't think there's any analytics that actually go into it. A worse version of Mark Malone, Bubby Brister, and Neil O'Donnell era. Ugh. Bubby Brister. Without Tomlin, do you think that this first draft is officially on the hot seat? He better cook with all them picks. I mean, no. And the only reason I say that Omar Khan's not on the hot seat, what Steeler player, or not player, but what Steeler coach or front office guy has been on the hot seat in the last 20 years? Like, who was on the hot seat? Nobody. So I don't have any qualms about him being on the hot seat now. That's not how they do things. So no, I don't think he's going to be on the hot seat at all. So I don't think so at all. They absolutely played it safe and conservative on the quarterback search. When they reached for baby hands, that was their one reach, And it was almost like they did it to try to satisfy Steeler fans. Here's a bone. We'll throw it to you. We'll take this guy. When nobody was telling you that Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick. Hell, the next damn quarterback didn't get drafted till the 3rd round. If that doesn't tell you anything. So, it is what it is. Cat Manada, stop it. So you could have drafted C.J. Mosley and Lamar Jackson. Yes, we could have. So, but we'll see. We will see. But that's what I got for you guys, man. Remember, this week coming up, Monday and Tuesday, we'll be on in the morning, live in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Make sure you guys are there. You know that the big show is on Tuesday night. Then on Thursday, we will be another rant live, but it's going to be at night. And that'll be at 7 Eastern, or at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So Monday and Tuesday, 10 a.m., Thursday in the morning at 10 a.m. or at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Jesus, I can't get the times right. Monday and Tuesday. Let's start doing this again. Monday and Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're live. On Thursday, we're live, but at night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Whew. Finally got it out. Lord have mercy. It's been that kind of day, man. Been that kind of day. So appreciate you guys, man, and I will talk to you soon.